Welcome back to Affirmations. Thank you all for joining me. Today, we are doing our segment called Storytime for the Children of the Slaves. And today, we have a very important topic that we're looking at today. This is a book that we're going to be reading by Lupita Nyong'o called Sulwe. Okay, and she wrote this book kind of addressing some of the trauma she faced due to being a heavily melanated, dark chocolate female. Okay, and this is a very important topic that is really one of the biggest. Issues that we struggle with in our group. Okay, and again, the purpose of these stories is to help us get in touch with our inner child. So this is a more sensitive one, but it's important that we look at this topic so we can do some healing as well as start confronting some of the ways we participate and continue this particular brainwashing that has been done to us. Okay, throughout history, they would have black face and different type of imageries, and we were made fun of. Okay, and we were taught to make fun of ourselves. We were also not only were we slaves and made our masters money. We were sex slaves. We were also a part of comedy, where we would make fun of ourselves in order for their entertainment. Okay, and we still see traces of that today. We see it in jokes, we see it in movies and different sitcoms, and we all have laughed, right? But what we want to do is get to the point where at least we can acknowledge when we're seeing it that this right here is part of the programming. When we see these behaviors, even if we laugh at it, just be aware that that's part of the programming. Okay, and we always talk about if you can teach a race to hate themselves, they won't want to continue their race group, right? They will want to. They don't want to. They won't want to marry or procreate, and they also will want to mix out with other groups. Okay. And as well as educate yourselves on that sometimes it's a benefit for other groups when there's mixing that's happening because of genetics. Okay, so do be aware that also too. One of the things that happened in a lot of the Latin countries was something called Blackamiento, and this was a type of political movement where they sent different groups from Europe in these heavily melanated black Latin countries. Because again, all areas, don't forget, were originally black, to what they call lighten the race, right? So it's a soft genocide, okay, where you mix yourself out to where you're not an original race anymore, okay? So something to think about, and so we'll talk a little bit more after this, but we'll get started with this. Lupita Nyong'o's Sulwe, okay? Mhm. And I'm hoping you all can see this. Okay. Sulwe has the skin the color of midnight. She is darker than everyone in her family. She is darker than anyone in her school. Sulwe just wants to be beautiful and bright, like her mother and sister. Then a magical journey in the night sky opens in her eyes and changes everything. In the stunning debut picture book, Academy Award winning actress Lupita Nyong'o creates a whimsical and heartwarming story that will inspire children to see their own unique beauty. Sulwe. Sulwe was born the color of midnight. She looked nothing like her family, not even a little, not even at all. Mama was the color of dawn. Baba, the color of dusk. And Mitch, Her sister was the color of high noon. Hardly anyone at school looked like Sulwe either. People gave her sister Mitch pet names like Sunshine, Ray, and Beauty. People gave Sulwe names like Blackie and Darky and Night. Sulwe felt very hurt every time, so she hid away while her sister made lots of friends. Sulwe dreamed of being the same color as her sister. She wanted real friends too. So she got the biggest eraser she could find and tried to rub off a layer or two of her darkness. That hurt. She crept into Mama's room and helped herself to makeup. Oh no, she would hear about this from Mama. So she decided to work from the inside out and ate only the lightest, brightest foods. With a stomach ache, she went to bed early and turned to God for a miracle. Dear Lord, why do I look like midnight when my mother looks like dawn? Please make me as fair as the parents I'm from. I want to be beautiful, not just to pretend. I want to have daylight. I want to have friends. If you hear me, my Lord, and would like to comply, may I wake up as bright as the sun in the sky. Amen. When Mama came in to wake her for school the next morning, Sulwe rose to find not a trace of daylight in her midnight skin. Sulwe told Mama everything. Mama asked, "What is your name?" Sulwe, she muttered. "And what does it mean?" "Star," Sulwe whispered. Brightness is not in your skin, my love. Brightness is just who you are. As for beauty, Mama said, rubbing Sulwe's stomach the way she always did to comfort her, you are beautiful. Sulwe sighed. Well, you are beautiful to me, but you can't rely on what you look like to make you feel beautiful, my sweet. Real beauty comes from your mind and your heart. It begins with how you see yourself, not how others see you. Now now up you get and out you go. That's my cat, y'all. Excuse me. She's jumpy. How could she, as dark as she was, have brightness in her? How could she have beauty when no one but her mother seemed to see it? How could she be a star? That night, a shooting star appeared at Sulwe's window. The night sent me, the star said. Come with me. Sulwe hopped onto the star and off they went. Long ago, at the beginning of time, said the star, there was night and day, and they were sisters. They loved each other very much. But people didn't treat the sisters the same. Lovely, nice, pretty. People gave Day pet names like lovely, nice, and pretty. People gave night names like scary, bad, and ugly. And she felt hurt every time. Well, Night got fed up and walked right off the earth. Day stayed behind and enjoyed making everybody happy in the sun. But then Day grew too long, and Day began to really miss her sister, and so did everybody else. There had to be a way to get her back. Day set off to find Night, and she did. I miss you, said Day. I miss you too, said Night. But do you know what it's like to be treated badly for being dark? You're right, I don't, Day replied. But what do I know is that we need you just the way you are. Come and see. Night returned and people rejoice. We need the darkest night to get the deepest rest. We need you so that we can grow and dream and keep our secrets to ourselves. The stars chimed in. Brightness isn't just for daylight, light comes in all colors, and some light can only be seen in the dark. While day has a golden glow, the night, everything has a silver sheen, elegant and fine. Day told her sister, when you are darkest is when you are the most beautiful. It's when you are the most you. Could it be that night did not need to change, not even a little, not even at all? Now that day and night were back together, a little bit of night returned to day in the form of shadows, and a little bit of day returned to night in the form of moonlight. They were inseparable from that moment on and promised to celebrate the brightness in each other, whether people chose to see it or not. You see, the star explained, we need them both. Their sunniest day and their darkest night, and every shade in between. Together, they make the world we know light and dark, strong and beautiful. Sulwe rose the next morning beaming. There would be no more hiding anymore. She belonged out in the world, dark and beautiful, bright and strong. And if she ever needed a reminder of her brightness, she could look up at the sky on the darkest night to see for herself. Sulwe felt beautiful inside and out. The end. Okay. Wow, I hope you all enjoyed that. That was such a beautiful book. Um, Definitely been wanting to get it. I'm glad that we were able to add it to our collection. A very important topic, okay? Um, Want you all to start thinking about that. How do we start healing the concept of what we call colorism? Look that up, colorism, okay? Again, slavery was based off of a caste system of color, okay? In order to oppress and pit different ones against each other, okay? So we want to educate ourselves, okay? Another thing we're going to briefly introduce you all to is something called Melanin. This is a book if you're interested in, but you start, finding your own books and doing your own research about the power of melanin. Melanin is what makes our skin tones the colors that they are. Okay, and so this was one of the books. Okay, and I'm just going to read a quick excerpt that I thought was very interesting. Okay, and so one of the things that we're looking at is we're trying to get to the point to where we can start loving our skin tones, and we have to start trying to commit to that. And how do we start doing that? I always tell people, number one, put art pieces and things in your homes of yourself, and I always encourage people find and make your biggest piece the darkest color of our people in order to uh, get yourself used to and normalizing and embracing and seeing the beauty in the color. So we have to reprogram ourselves. Also, to reframing from, certain statements that we grow up with. Are we going to joke about people's color? We're going to support movies that are joking about color. When people are making sarcastic statements about someone being dark, are we just going to kind of gently remove ourselves? Are we going to stay and act, like it's okay? So the small things that we can do to start contributing to embracing all of our beautiful, diverse colors, okay? And also to those who are born of a kind of darker, richer melanin, being able to not participate in that type of emotional abuse, okay? Being able to walk away and find people that are positive and healthy. But I'll read this part. It says, melanin is studied in chemistry, which is the study of cheme, meaning black melanin particles. That's what chemistry means, the study of black melanin particles, called protons, electrons, neutrons, and solitons. However, the word melanin is never mentioned in European Greek chemistry. Melanin is studied in biology because the purplish melanated brain of the cell called the nucleus is studied. However, the word melanin is never mentioned. Melanin is the chemical key to life in the brain's nucleus of all cells. In order for information to be transported to the brain, it must be in liquid form. You see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and feel life with your brain, melanin. Therefore, what eyes see, hear, tongues taste, and nose smell, these sensations are converted into liquid in order to get to the brain. The chemical conversion or change is melanin. It allows you to be in contact with your inner body and allows your body to be in contact with life itself. The black race has the highest amount of melanin and has the highest contact with inner life, meaning emotions, spiritual, subconscious, sublime, and extrasensory life. Okay, very powerful. Another thing I'm going to show you. This is a scale where it kind of breaks down the highest group with the highest number of melanin. At 6 is, of course, black race, Africans. The next is 5, black brown, which is Native Indians, Mexicans, Malaysians. 4 is brown red, which is Native Americans and Japanese. 2 and 3, melanin is yellow, mixed brown Orientals. And number 1 is white Caucasians. Okay, so that's a breakdown. Okay, but I do want you all to consider, healing. How do we heal from colorism? Number one, we want to admit that it exists. Sometimes we'll discuss it, that, there's favoritism in advertising. You can see how there always are in commercials and advertisements promoting a thing, the mixing out, promoting lighter. At least be able to acknowledge that. So when someone mentions that, validate that, okay? Don't act like it don't exist, okay? So with that, guys, I appreciate you all for uh, sharing this with me, and for us trying to heal our inner child with the subject. Very important. Please share this video. Very important video for all our people to see. And continue to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification button. And, I'll be seeing you on YouTube. Okay? Bye-bye.